Welcome to Medical Microbiology. I'm really excited for this semester. I really like this class and the class material, and I think you will learn a lot and that we'll have a good time. So I'm your instructor. I'm Dr. Van Laar. My email address is tvanlaar@csustan.edu. That's going to be the best way to reach me outside of class time. My office is in Naragi on the second floor in room 275. My office hours are posted in the syllabus, and we'll go over those in just a minute. But that's where you can find me during office hours. I do research in microbial genomics, so I like to use DNA usually to understand what bacteria are in a particular environment, what they might be doing, and how they might interact with one another. I teach courses in microbiology, bioinformatics, genetics, basically wherever I'm needed. If I can talk about the small things, that's what I really like. I am actually a graduate of the Stan State biology program, so I am very passionate about it. I think it's a great program, and it opened a lot of doors for me, and I think it'll open a lot of doors for you as well. As a fun fact, I'm a bird nerd. I like birds a lot, so sorry if I talk too much about birds. But what I'd like for you to do is, as a comment in this section of the video, go ahead and give a fun fact about yourself, something that you're comfortable sharing with the rest of the class. And as other students post their fun fact, maybe you can reply or interact with them. And if you have the same fun fact in common, maybe you could say that, or if you think their fun fact is interesting, you could say that as well. So in medical microbiology, we are going to talk about the four major categories of microbes, which you should have already been introduced to in your previous microbiology courses. We're going to talk about viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. In the lab, we will work with some members of all of these categories. With the exception of viruses, viruses are really tricky to work with in the lab, but we may have some prepared slides of viral infections, at least, that we can look at. And of course, we're definitely going to discuss all of these as the semester goes on. We will touch a little bit on immunology specifically, but it's also really important to think about, as we talk about all of these organisms, how the immune system either works or doesn't to protect patients from disease. So why should you study medical microbiology? Because it's fun. But because understanding the organisms is important for recognizing and treating diseases. So any of you who are interested in going into human health, whether it's CLS, nursing, medicine, veterinary, you've got to be able to understand the organisms to recognize and treat disease. There are some organisms that cause really obvious disease symptoms, things like Ebola, tetanus, or malaria. Others don't, so that can make them trickier to treat. Things that cause flu-like symptoms, it's hard to figure out what's causing a wound infection, food poisoning, right? You might think that all of those diseases are caused by different organisms. Nope. Staph aureus can cause all of those types of symptoms. So it's really important to understand what symptoms organisms can cause so you can identify and treat disease. Another issue that can be very tricky is that there are some diseases or, collections of signs and symptoms that are caused by different organisms, and they all look the same. So something like meningitis, inflammation of the meninges, can be caused by bacterial organisms, viral organisms, fungal organisms, and parasitic organisms. And each of those types of meningitis comes with its own challenges for treatment. And if you don't know what type of meningitis it is, your patient could be in significant trouble. And of course, it's fun to study medical microbiology because of emerging infectious diseases. We can learn about diseases as they are evolving, as they are first encountering people, as they're moving into new areas, and we can provide information to the public about maybe steps they can take to prevent disease, or symptom management. And some diseases like Zika, COVID-19, and monkeypox are these types of emerging infectious diseases. We'll also learn a little bit about where does disease come from. Major sources, there are two. Exogenous, meaning it comes from outside the environment or outside the host. Endogenous means it comes from inside the host. Basically, your own microbes have made you sick. These infections are actually most common. And why do you think that might be? So, think about that as, especially we're going through the term and we come across a lot of these endogenous infections. And so what I'd like you to do here is maybe leave a comment on something that you're interested in learning about during this class, whether it's a specific organism, a specific type of disease, maybe something more broad, whatever it is. But include that here as a comment, and then come back and reply to one of your classmates. So briefly, we'll do a tour of the course, but as always, if any questions come up, feel free to shoot me an email, come by my office during office hours, and I'm happy to help. So when you log into Canvas, you should see something like this. Of course, you're not in my grant writing cohort class, but you are in medical microbiology lecture and lab. There are two separate Canvas shells, one for each, but you do get a combined grade for the class. So if we dive into the lecture, we can look at it under student view because you're the students. So under student view, when you log in to Canvas, this is what you'll see. So you have the welcome to medical microbiology. Here's my contact information and my office hours. So Monday from 1 to 3, Monday directly after lecture, Friday 11 to 12, so Friday right before lecture. If those times don't work for you because you have class or work, please do send me an email. We could try to set up a Zoom appointment, or maybe I can come in early one day and meet with you, or maybe stay a little bit late and meet with you. Here's a link to the syllabus. The syllabus can also be found under the syllabus link. If the syllabus has to change, I will put what date it changed, but this is the syllabus as of right now. Throughout the term, we'll be reading primary journal articles. You can click here and go directly to the journal article module. During the term, you will also work on a group project where you're going to design a game to teach medical microbiology concepts. You can click this link here and go directly to that module. If you want to access the modules, of course, you can also go to the module page. You'll see an introduction and how-to guides. So the link to this video is actually going to be here, but it's not here now because I haven't uploaded the video yet. It's like Videoception. You'll see it when you log in. For this week, here are the lecture slides. I know it looks kind of intense, but a lot of them are pretty short. I just like to break things up into chunks, like thought ideas. I will do my best to record the lectures. That does not mean you don't have to come to class. Please come to class still. This is more of a review, a study tool. Here's the group project information and the journal article discussions. Okay, so we'll go back and look at the syllabus. Remember, you can access the syllabus here. We'll go through that real quick. Maybe I should have tested this and see how long it took to load. Okay, I'm just opening it as a Word document. I'm going to show it over here instead. It's the same thing. It'll load. That's fine. Hopefully you've already downloaded it because it has been up for a few days. So here's the syllabus. Here's all the information. Class is on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 to 12:50 in Naragi 104. Lab is on Wednesday from 1 to 3:50 in Naragi 331. That's the same as the bacteriology lab for those of you who took bacteriology with us. In order to take this course, you should have successfully completed bacteriology or an equivalent course. We do call it now general microbiology. So in the catalog, it has changed. The textbook is Medical Microbiology, Murray et al. I mean, I can't require it in that I'm not going to force you to go buy it. But if you come to me and you're like, I don't really understand this material, I'm struggling, the first question I'm going to ask you is, are you reading the textbook? If you grab an older edition, that's totally fine, but you are responsible for the material that we are covering. And so there are going to be some diseases, some of the emerging infectious diseases that are not in older editions of the textbook. So I recommend getting the newest edition whenever possible, and you can get an electronic or a paper version. So course learning outcomes, these are all the things that hopefully you'll learn by the end of the term. Lots of cool stuff. If you have any questions, always ask. Your grade, the course itself, I know everybody's like, ooh, grades, that's the thing we really care about. The class is worth a total of 800 points. The regular examinations, there will be 4 throughout the semester. They're each worth 50 points. The group project total is worth 100 points. Those journal articles that you'll read, there are going to be 4 of them. You'll earn 10 points for reading and interacting with the article and your peers. You'll earn 10 points for doing a summary. So 20 points per article, 4 articles total. That's 80 points. I'll come right back to this, I promise. In-class participation, 50 points. So coming to class, we'll do activities sometimes in class. We'll do group discussions. If you're not in class, you can't earn points for that. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to take attendance and mark you down every day, but it is expected that you come to class and engage with your peers. And if you miss class, you miss class. If you have a university absence, you must miss class for something, you need to let me know in advance and we can talk about that. There will be a final exam at the end of the semester. It is comprehensive or cumulative and it will be worth 80 points. So those are your lecture points. Then for lab, you're going to write a manuscript in a group. So your lab group will write a manuscript. That will be worth a total of 100 points and we'll talk more about that in lab. You'll do lab reports. That'll be worth a total of 120 points. There will be 4 pop quizzes in the lab. Well, 5 technically, but I'll drop your lowest. So that'll be worth 40 points. And then participation, 30 points. Show up, help out, engage with your lab mates, be safe. You'll earn all those points. It's broken down by percentage here. Letter grades, it's the standard scale. Late work, so homework, I'll accept late with a 10% penalty per day. But with your group work, if you're not doing your group work, that's going to affect your whole group. So please do make your best effort to get things in on time. If you are going to miss an exam, you must provide documentation no later than 2 weeks prior to the absence. So you can't tell me, oh, well, I'm going on a field trip for my class tomorrow. Sorry. I know field trips are scheduled in advance. So please let me know as soon as possible. In order to pass the entire course, you do have to pass the lab with a 70% or better. I'm not worried about that. I'm pretty sure everybody will. The lab itself is worth 290 points. You must earn 203 to pass. But again, I'm pretty sure you will. If you have an unexcused absence, that will reduce your grade by 5%. If you have 2 unexcused absences, that will reduce your lab grade by 20%. 3 or more absences, you will not pass the lab, meaning you can't pass the class. So please come to lab. A lot of these other things are just kind of the standard boilerplate syllabus language. You are going to be writing a paper and you are going to be doing a summary. You are not allowed to use artificial intelligence in any way, shape, or form for the class. You are not allowed to plagiarize. That will automatically be a 0. So don't even try. Don't even log in to any of those artificial intelligence. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Because you are writing a paper, if you are not confident with your writing, I highly recommend visiting the University Writing Center. They will help you. Any other issues, if you are, if you're struggling, I think we all have struggled at some point, please reach out. If you need food, if you need clothing, if you have health issues, there's lots of options for you. So important dates to remember: we do not have class on September 4th. That is Labor Day. Last day to drop is September 18th, but you're not going to do that. You're going to love this class. No class on November 10th because of Veterans Day. No class the week of Thanksgiving because, Thanksgiving. Our final exam, based on the university policy, is scheduled for December 13th at 11:15 a.m. You must come to the final exam. Please do not schedule a vacation for December 13th. 14th, I don't care. 13th, no. You have to be in class. This is our schedule. I'll do my best. To keep up with the schedule. I promise nothing. The exams will be on the same days though. So exam 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the final. And the exam schedule can also be found on Canvas. The laboratory schedule is shown here. There will be no lab on October 4th. So if you're like, I really want to miss a lab one day, miss October 4th, because I won't be there either. So there you go. That'll be great. And so that means that these 2 lecture days, October 4th and October 6th, will be video lectures. They won't be in person. So here's our lab schedule. Again, we'll do our best to follow along with it. Schedules are always tentative and subject to change. Oh, so finally it opened. Okay. Again, if we go back, your modules, you'll also see the exam schedule here. So exam schedule, exam 1, 2, 3, 4, and final. Okay, and it gives you the time. We can pop back out. Oh, whoops. Let me leave the student view. Pop back out to your dashboard, microbiology lab. Again, I'm going to do student view, so we'll see it the same way. Modules. You need to complete the safety. If you've already done it, please submit a screenshot here. The screenshot needs to be submitted before class next week on Wednesday. Here's your information. We're going to start out writing your paper, the things that you need to do, and then your handouts and slides for lab. So please make sure you've downloaded your slides and handouts before you come to lab so we are all on the same page and don't have to spend too much time catching up. If you have any questions regarding the syllabus, so any questions that came up in this tour of the course, go ahead and put them on your annotation on your video and let me know what questions there were. Maybe your peers can answer a question, maybe they have the same question, and I'll go through and look at those questions and try to address them before our next class session. I look forward to a great semester with all of you, and I will see you later.